The Copper Scroll, the Dead Sea's map to lost treasure. In 1952, high above the still waters of the Dead Sea, a team of archaeologists from the Jordanian Department of Antiquities explored a narrow cave cut deep into the limestone near Qumran. They had no idea they were about to uncover one of the strangest mysteries in biblical archaeology, a relic that defied scripture, logic, and time itself. Among the thousands of Dead Sea Scrolls written on fragile parchment and papyrus, there was one that didn't belong. It was heavy, green with corrosion, and made of solid copper. Not written with ink, but etched by hand, as if someone wanted these words to last forever. Scholars called it simply the Copper Scroll. When experts in Manchester finally managed to cut it open using a fine jeweler's saw, they expected verses, hymns, maybe even prophecy. But what they found was something completely different. The scroll wasn't a holy text. It was a list that methodical, emotionless, and incredibly specific. 64 separate entries described hidden hoards of gold, silver, and sacred temple vessels buried across ancient Judea. Each entry gave precise directions, measurements, and even landmarks. Under the steps leading east, 40 cubits long. At the spring of the valley of Achor, in the tomb within the third courtyard. Each line read like the entry of a military logbook. Not legend, not metaphor, but instructions. The total treasure listed is staggering. If the values are accurate, it would equal more than 200 tons of gold and silver worth billions today. Some historians believe this was the last record of the Second Temple's sacred treasury, hidden away when Roman legions stormed Jerusalem in 70 CE. As the city burned, it said that Jewish priests and craftsmen smuggled their wealth into the wilderness, sealing it in secret caches before they were killed or captured. Others claim it was written by the Essenes, the secretive Jewish sect that once lived in Qumran. The Essenes rejected the corruption of Jerusalem's priesthood, believing themselves the keepers of divine truth. They may have recorded these treasures not for greed, but to preserve the holy vessels until a time of restoration. But if so, why carve it in copper? That's what makes the scroll unique. Unlike every other Dead Sea text written on parchment, this one was designed to survive fire, water, and centuries. Its maker wanted this message to endure long after every empire fell, and it did. For over 70 years, archaeologists and explorers have hunted the treasures the Copper Scroll describes. Expeditions have scoured the caves of Qumran, the valleys of Jericho, and the ravines of Wadi Kelt. Some used ground-penetrating radar. Others relied on ancient maps and biblical geometry, but not a single hoard has ever been confirmed. Some say the treasure was found long ago, secretly recovered by Roman soldiers or later governments who buried the truth. Others believe the scroll's wording hides a deeper code, a cipher based on the hidden design of Solomon's temple. Without that knowledge, every clue is a dead end. Then there are those who whisper of a missing second scroll, the other half of the list lost or stolen centuries ago. If it exists, it could complete the puzzle and reveal the true resting place of the temple's riches. But even if the gold was real, one question haunts scholars more than any other. Who was it written for? If the author never meant to return, why leave such a precise record? Was it meant as a message for future generation, or a warning that the treasure was never meant to be unearthed again? Today, the Copper Scroll rests in the Jordan Archaeological Museum in Amman. Behind glass, the engraved letters still glint faintly under museum lights, a language frozen in metal, untouched for nearly 2,000 years. Visitors gaze at it and imagine the deserts it describes, the hidden tombs, the steps carved in forgotten stone. They wonder if under the dust of Judea, beneath layers of history, the treasure still waits. But maybe that's the true brilliance of the Copper Scroll, that the real treasure isn't gold or silver, but the mystery itself. It forces humanity to remember that some parts of our past were never meant to be solved, only respected. It reminds us that faith, knowledge, and obsession often blur into one. Because every legend begins with a secret, and every secret demands a believer brave enough to chase it. And if you've stayed with me this far, then you're already part of that search. So keep your eyes open, keep your faith strong, and keep digging. Because the next great discovery might already be waiting just beneath your feet. Like and subscribe by Yahweh Stories Om 44, because history's greatest secrets are still buried, and you'll want to be here when we uncover the next one.